Good day, grade 10 students. Welcome to English class. I am teacher Arnel, always ready to learn and to give you learning. Today, we'll know how to overcome challenges by building up defenses. In the previous lesson, depicted personal challenges that influence the innermost sense of self. You were able to determine your own personal challenges and even made aware of how it affects your life. Such awareness is vital to shield yourself from these challenges. It helps you design your best approaches in handling obstacles. In this lesson, you will learn to build your own line of defenses against discrimination and able to come out strong and successful. So today, I'm going to read to you a story about mythology. Acrisius, king of Argos, received a dreadful oracle from Delphi. According to the priestess of Delphi, he will not have a son but a grandson from whose hands he will be killed. Frightened, King Acrisius hid his only daughter Danae from the sight of all men. Danae was locked up inside a house of bones sunk underground. Zeus entered into the underground chamber in the form of the shower of gold through the roof partly opened. He appeared in front of Danae, and in an instant, Danae received a baby. Later, Danae had given birth to a boy named Perseus. She kept her baby a secret from her own father. Learned about her secret. The king ordered his people to have a chest built for Danae and child Perseus. Danae and her child were put inside the chest and sent adrift the sea. It bobbed in the waves until it reached the island of Syracuse, where a fisherman named Dectes noticed the chest and took it. When he opened, he saw Danae and Perseus. The kind Dictys let them in their house to live together with his wife. Dictys' brother, King Polydectes, was captivated in Danae's beauty, and married her. Polydectes felt jealous over the love that Danae was giving to Perseus. To get rid of Perseus, Polydectes sent him to a dangerous adventure that put his life in peril. The mission was to kill Medusa, one of the three Gorgons. She has snaky hair and metal scale skin. Looking straight in Medusa's eye can turn mortals into stone. Despite the danger, Perseus agreed to embark on the adventure in order to get his own name a glory. Hermes gave him a sword. He was also given a shield by Athena. Hermes added that Perseus needed also the winged sandal, the helmet of invisibility, and the magic wallet. Those three essential things were all in the possession of the nymphs of the north. Getting there was not easy. In order to get to the nymphs of the north, Perseus has to go first to the Grey Women, who only could tell the direction. Perseus went to the Grey Women. He snatched the eye of the women and threatened not to return it unless they give him the direction. Pointing to the nymphs of the north, as soon as the direction was given, Perseus headed to the island of Gorgons. He was instructed by Athena, telling him that Medusa was the one lying closest to the seashore. With one swift of his sword, and with the help of his shield as a mirror, Medusa was beheaded and her head was put inside the magic wallet. While Perseus was making his way back home, he noticed a beautiful lady chained on the cliff. He asked her name and why she was hanged. No reply was given by the lady. Perseus insisted the lady to respond. She said her name was Andromeda, daughter of Ethiopian king Cepheus and queen Cassiopeia. Andromeda told Perseus that her mother boasted that she was the most beautiful than 50 lovely daughters of Nereus. As a revenge to her mother Cassiopeia, Andromeda suffered the punishment. At any moment then, the serpent was on its way to devour Andromeda. Perseus told Andromeda's parents that he would save their daughter on a condition that they will allow him to marry her. The king and queen agreed at once, and Andromeda was saved from death. He took Andromeda to his homeland. At that time, a discus throw competition was going on at Larissa. Perseus joined in, and when it was his turn to throw the discus, he threw it mightily and accidentally hit an old man in an audience. It was learned that his grandfather, King Acrisius, was the one hit by the discus. And that ends the story of a mythology about Perseus and Andromeda. So let's have a recap about the intensive pronoun. It refers back to another noun or pronoun in the sentence in order to emphasize it. It is known as the emphatic noun. So example is Perseus himself agreed to embark on the adventure in order to get his own name a glory. So as what I have told you that it is where Perseus is the noun being emphasized. It is called the antecedent of the intensive pronoun, which is himself. The antecedent of pronoun is the thing pronoun refers to, which is Perseus. So now let's move on to reflexive pronoun. A reflexive pronoun tells us that whoever performs the action in a sentence is also the one on the receiving end of that action. In other words, the reflexive pronoun reflects back to the subject. A reflexive pronoun can be used as the direct object or indirect object or object of a preposition in a sentence. So reflexive pronouns are used when the subject and the object of a sentence are the same. These pronouns serve as the object of a sentence, always coming after the verb. They always end in self or selves and refer back to a previous mentioned noun or pronoun. So now let's try this example. Reflexive pronouns are direct objects and indirect objects. Reflexive pronouns can be both a direct and indirect object. When a reflexive pronoun is the direct object, it's the same as the subject and receives the action of a transitive verb. Example, I hurt myself cutting down the bush. Second example, we have been preparing ourselves for flu season. When a reflexive pronoun is an indirect object, it demonstrates why or for whom the action is performed. For example, I bought myself a new car. And then we will give ourselves a cheat day. Then the second is a reflexive pronouns as object of preposition. You can use reflexive pronouns together with the word by to mean alone or without any help. Example, I went to the movie by myself. The second example is the children tidied up their rooms by themselves. So now I'm gonna give you a glimpse about graphic organizers. But before that, let's know first what is graphic organizer. A graphic organizers include various kinds of graphs and diagrams that organize ideas visually. They help readers to classify ideas and communicate effectively. So this is an example of graphic organizer. So the one you are seeing right now is a picture or different kinds of graphic organizer. So it is upon on you and how you make your organizers. So it can be a spider web, a column, a diagrams rather, a graphs or whatsoever. As long as you could indicate there on how you organize your ideas and thoughts in a perfect manner. So that's all about graphic organizers. Now, let's um, review or let's talk again about intensive pronoun. So, as what I've told you a while ago, intensive pronoun refers back to another noun or pronoun in the sentence in order to emphasize it. So, on the previous slides, we talked about more about reflexive pronouns. So it tells us that whoever performs the action in a sentence is also the one on the receiving end of that action. In other words, the reflexive pronoun reflects back to the subject. A reflexive pronoun can be used as the direct object, indirect object, or object of the prepositions in a sentence. So that ends the topic or our discussion for today. So with your pen and paper, prepare with the following question and answer this in your paper. So number one, these include various kinds of graphs and diagrams that organize ideas visually. Is it A, Venn diagram, B, charts, C, grids, D, graphic organizers? If you answer letter D, graphic organizers, then you are correct. Number two, this type of pronouns can be both a direct and indirect object. Is it A, intensive, B, indefinite, C, reflexive, D, interrogative? If you answer letter C, reflexive, then you are correct. Number three, this pronoun is also known as emphatic or emphatic pronoun. Is it A, intensive? Is it B, indefinite? Is it C, reflexive? Or is it D, interrogative? Well, if you answer letter A, intensive, then you are correct. Number four, it refers to an act that treats others badly because they are different from them. Is it A, discrimination, B, prejudice, C, bias, D, bullying? If you answer A, discrimination, then you are correct. Number five, these languages appeal to human sense of sight, smell, touch, taste, and sound. What is it? Is it A, sensory images, B, sensation, C, sensory system, D, sixth sense? Well, if you answer letter A, sensory image, then you are correct. And that ends our topic for today. Once again, this is Teacher Arnel, always saying the world is a big classroom for you to learn. Therefore, don't stop learning because learning is everywhere. Thank you and goodbye.